Guys, we'll start in another 2 minutes. Sorry, I got a couple of minutes late here. Hey guys, we'll start here. Where were we? How many questions? I think 20, we covered till 30, right? Or 28 or 20.
30.
We covered the 30th one also.
Yes.
Did we discuss it? I don't remember that, but if you say so.
89 we covered. 31 we missed.
30th we didn't cover, no?
Ah,
30th is a very, yeah, I remember I didn't cover 30th because this is a very distinct. 30th is a very good question, very popular question, and they will ask you this to assess whether you are okay. So, what strategy? So, as a Scrum Master, what have you done to improve the productivity in your teams? What are the techniques that you will use to improve the productivity in a team? The team is not performing well. They are on low morale, low productivity. What are you going to do? What are the highlights of you as a Scrum Master? What are the great things that you have done? Why should we hire you? All of these questions. Basically, the answer to this question is all of these questions. There could be multiple questions, but the answer remains the answer of this particular question. How will you improve the productivity of a team? What are the things that you are going to do in sprint execution via which you can improve the productivity of your team? Why are you a good Scrum Master? What will you do if the team is not performing well? Okay, so anybody can raise their hands and give me just 1 point. So all of you are allowed only 1 point initially, and you can't repeat the point. So let's see. Let's start with, yeah, Omkar is quick, so he says points will go away. Yeah, go ahead, Omkar.
So from my point of view, to keep my sprint alive, I think clear sprint goal and prioritization of the user story is the most important thing to keep the sprint efficient.
Good, good. So you will apply prioritization and you will have a clear user story.
Sprint goal.
Fair answer. Yes. What else? Kiran.
Uh, we should identify that is there any communication gap in the team, and if they have any knowledge gap or anything, and we have to upskill them with the knowledge so that they can complete the task or sorry,
So complete the sprint goal.
sprint easily.
So you will look
Or-
into whether there are any knowledge gaps or skill gaps.
skill gap.
Knowledge gaps are typically gaps. So you have to use these two terms, which is the most often used term in the corporates these days. Knowledge gap and skill gap. Knowledge gap is if I'm a decent Python developer, there is no problem, but I don't understand the banking domain. I don't understand accounts receivable, debit, credit, or all that nonsense. So that means there is a knowledge gap. I don't know the business rules. So maybe I'm working on a payment payment transfer feature, but I don't know. I have to put a 5,000 rupees limit on a particular day. If I'm transferring to outside, I have to use some different currency. I don't know the business rules. I'm not aware of the business functionality. So that's your knowledge gap. Now, let us say I do not know the Python itself, or I'm struggling to have that skill. So that is your skill gap if you have a trouble in your core competency. But if you don't understand the domain, that's your knowledge gap. So skill gap and knowledge gap, both you have to identify as a Scrum Master and prepare a plan to fix that. If it is a skill gap, then trainings and blah, 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 pair programming, all that. If it's a knowledge gap, that means you will have to pull up the PO. PO or a BA has to make sure he has regular sessions with the team to make sure there is a enhancement in the domain knowledge. There could be other organization could also have some organizations have refresher courses on different domains also. That's also there. Is this clear? Good point here. Knowledge gap and skill gap. So 2 points we have. How will you improve your team? Omkar says clarity in stories and prioritization of stories. Kiran says skill gap and knowledge gap. Very good 4 points. Yes, let's go to Mohammed sir.
Okay, continuous improvement of the team by doing daily stand-ups and retrospectives.
Yes, retrospectives. We'll discuss in detail today retrospectives. So I will cover all the points there. But yes, retrospectives, you can play around with formats. You can team the build culture using that. Yeah, okay. So I will take that. Retrospectives, conducting effective retrospectives is a great way of improving productivity. Get it? Yeah, fair enough. Then Sudipta.
So increasing the productivity of the team, like if you hire me, then I will answer that as a Scrum Master, of course, I will facilitate the meetings and I will remove the impediments. But being as a person, I'm a very proactive in nature. And what I will do is I'll go beyond and will continuously through the Scrum meetings. I will check the vibe of the team. Like if anybody is feeling low or if they're not responding properly, because our day-to-day activity only makes us or progresses us towards the sprint goal and then towards the product goal. So I will check the vibe of the team, and if I will try to remove those kind of impediments.
So basically, you will check the morale of the team. You will try to motivate them. You will have one-on-one connects with them to identify if somebody is feeling low and things like that. You will work on the soft skills and things like that.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, fair point. Fair point. So that's another point added to our list. So very good points people are making. Good. Chavan sir. Yeah, let's go next.
Okay, sir. So the team should be understand the DOR, okay, definition of ready, and I mean it should be clear and concise that thing. And I mean if it is they are clear the DOR, then they can work towards the sprint goal.
DOR, you can also say DOD. You can also say acceptance criteria. All three things you will say that you will use the acceptance criteria. You will do the DOR. DOR is the checklist that you will have in the team to make sure stories are picked up after having a proper discussion. And there should be no dependencies. Invest criteria should be there, all that. And then DOD is what you will use to ensure that the quality of the product is there. So all three things you will use to enhance the DOD is an instrument which is a built-in quality mechanism for agile team. So all three you will mention that I have used these three things to improve the efficiency and productivity of my teams.
Okay, then risk this thing mitigation actually. I mean stop, then start, stop, and continue like that. actually.
So yeah, risk management again. I'll take it. What is risk management? How do you do that? That we'll discuss. But I take your point. Risk management. All of this. Why are we discussing all of this? Why should we hire you? What have you done in your past experience that makes you a good Scrum Master? How will you improve a team? If we give you a team with low productivity, low morale, what are the things you will do? What are the best practices you have done? What are the challenges you have faced? So challenges is DOR and DOD acceptance criteria is not there. Skill gap and knowledge gap is not identified. Team is low on morale. Nobody is discussing them. Nobody is having one-on-ones discussion with the team. So all of these things, what we are discussing, are points. Basically, you can. One sec here. Sorry. Okay. I hope
Yeah,
you
and
get it.
within
You
a
know the answer, but you should also know the question, that all of these things that, so this basically covers whatever we are covering today, blockers plus these points that we are discussing today. If you are clear with blockers and if you are clear with what the points we are discussing today, this is good enough for most interviews.
then I will ensure that conflict should not be
No, no,
in.
Chavan sir, that's
Yeah.
your third point. 2 points I will take.
Okay.
I'll take that. Risk management, DOR, DOD, and acceptance criteria. Yes, Rupa, let's have 1 point from you.
Yeah, so it's like we should not overload the team. It's like to avoid multitasking.
Beautiful point. Point is very good. I will just add 2 words to it so that it sounds that you have a lot of
It's
Scrum.
limiting the work in progress.
Limiting the work and not overburdening. Very good
Yes.
points. But I will use, so the word we have to use is overcommitment. Overcommitment is, rather than taking 10 stories, which is your capacity, you are taking 15 stories. You are overcommitting. Whatever you can handle, you are trying to handle more. So if overcommitment is there, it's a big problem. See, my team's capability is 10 stories. Let us say they took 16, 17 stories under pressure from stakeholders or somebody else. Ultimately, we completed 12 stories, which is 20% more than our capacity. See, 10 is our capacity and we did 12. This is 20% more. But even then, if you look at the target was 16, 17 stories, the team will be scolded. They will be told that you are a very low productive team. Whereas in reality, it is not a low productive. It is a very productive team, but you are overcommitting. You are ignoring the capacity and the historical data. On an average, we are doing 10 stories. Now, suddenly, without an increase in the skill set, without an increase in the skill set or the resources, suddenly they say, instead of 10 stories, you do 16 stories. That is 60% bump in the productivity. How? Suddenly we turned into Pushpa? No, yeah. We are, so either they, so how come they are expecting 60% increase in productivity? On what basis? If you increase the resources, or are we saying that we'll work 3 days extra in the sprint? What is the reason of six? Maybe we can target 10%, 20% more. That is okay. But if you want to target 60% more, what for? There has to be a logical reason why we can. No, we will try. How can you suddenly increase 60% productivity suddenly? So lot of teams are good teams, productive teams, but they overcommit. And they end up, the scrum masters, the teams end up explaining why they could not complete it, whereas no fault of theirs. There is nobody who can say no. There is nobody who can say, okay, boss, this is our capacity, this is our capability, this is our availability. Based on this, we can do only this much. If you cannot say no, then this situation will happen. They will overload you. I am good enough to get 80%, but no, I want 95% marks. I will not get it. You'll always get scolded and you will be in trouble if you overcommit. So this is an art how not to do overcommit. 50% of the teams will be fine only. People just want more. more and more and more. This is how, but then you have to explain that this is our capacity, this is our capability. That onus is on you to explain. So overcommitment should not be there. If there is so maybe there are trainings, maybe there are grooming was not proper, you added a better PO, then of course I can target more. Maybe PO was not able to explain the stories, now he is able to explain the stories, we are expecting DOR, now you can target more. There has to be a reason why you want to target more. Addition of resources, or CI/CD was not working for last 3 sprints, suddenly now it is working, we'll be able to automate the deployments, we can increase more. There has to be some reason. Because PO wants, or because stakeholders want more stories, now we have to do more. That is no way, that is not a reason of increasing your intake of what, or increasing your target. So overcommitment. The other point Rupa highlighted is limiting the work. So there is something called WIP, work in progress. So that should be limited to 2 or 3 tickets. That is a global average. Why do you do that? That I'll explain when we do Kanban. But typically everybody and anybody should not have more than 2 or 3 tickets in progress at any given point of time. Because if you have more, then it gives you the illusion that the work is happening. But in reality, people have a limit to multitask. They cannot multitask endlessly. If I have 10 things to worry about, I am not going to complete those. So the global average is 3 or 4. So you can experiment between 2 and 4. That should be, but I'll get into more details on what is WIP and why do you use it and all that when we get into Kanban. But for now, overcommitment and introducing WIP, whereas you are limiting the number of tickets that each person can handle at any given point of time. Those 2 things are extremely important to increase the productivity or low morality. Is this clear? Overcommitment and limiting WIP, WIP. So Rupa said the right things, but the right words are overcommitment and limiting WIP.
Okay.
Okay, Deepak sir, go ahead.
Sir, I will, as a Scrum Master, what I do to increase the productivity of the team is I celebrate the wins of the team. And I also ensure that I also participate with the team, and I just don't conduct the Scrum events, but I also participate and increase the morale of the team and improve the productivity. And I also ensure that I'm transparent and I act as a good servant leader. So in this way, I improve the productivity of my team through other means as well, apart from the Scrum principles and the Scrum events that I follow.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's a good point. Give me 1 sec here. Sorry, yaar, I had to. Okay, yes. Sorry, yaar, Deepak, what was the point that you made? Come up again.
Like as a Scrum Master, I ensure that I also participate in the events as a member, and I also ensure that I celebrate the wins of the team.
This I will take. This I will take. You are not a team member. I mean, you will not participate. You will facilitate. You will facilitate those events. You will coach the team with the right practices, and you will celebrate. If it's a low morale team, you will, of course, if a story is completed, you will appreciate that. And there are other ways to do that, which we'll get into when we get into retro. But yes, you will celebrate the small wins. You will encourage the team. You will highlight their good things that they are doing. Yeah, agreed. That I will take that.
And I'll also be transparent. I will not beat around the bush.
Okay. So in the interview, if you are using the word I,
Yeah.
that means you have never worked as a, or you are not a good team manager or a team leader or a scrum master or a project manager. You have to use the word we.
We.
You got this? And it is
Yeah.
not easy. Trust me, it is not easy. Till now, I sometimes say I will, because that's ego at play, right? We all have ego and so always use WEV. We will do this, we will improve. I tell the team we would do this, we did this. So try and use the word we if possible, but it is very tough here. So, but try. Okay, this is good points. Wasim sir, go ahead here.
We should see that the leadership resistance is not there.
Oh, yeah.
Lack of feedback, late feedback will affect the team productivity.
Beautiful. Late feedback. Yes. Basically, we are waiting for the stories to be completed. We have done the stories, but now we are waiting for PO and stakeholders to give us feedback. If they don't give, then obviously those stories will be delayed. So then you have to coach that, boss. Your feedback is critical to the success of the team. Very good. Yeah. All of you combined can easily clear that interview. But mind you, what all of us are making very good points, but in the interview, you have to make all these points together. Okay. I'm also limiting you for 1 or 2 points. So that's also there. Yeah. So yeah, good point. Very good point that late feedback from PO or stakeholders can delay the stories, and we may end up looking like a low productivity team, but it is because we are not getting the feedback in time. Yes, so Scrum Master has to talk to the PO and the stakeholders, make them understand their feedback in time will give the team an opportunity to close out items and be highly productive. Very good point. Abhilasha, madam.
Okay, so like if there is any lack of product vision, then I'll try to facilitate any meeting with PO so that team will understand. I mean the
What is
output
that?
and the lack of, if there is any lack of product vision within the team. So I'll try to facilitate any kind of meeting with the PO and the team so everyone will be on same page. And also will encourage to have a test review things so that we can have the 100% test coverage.
Good. That is a good point. From a testing perspective, what when you say test review, what exactly is meant by that?
Actually, what happens in if I talk about our team, so we have a separate test case review task for every story. So a peer, I mean the who is the peer tester or the PO, they reviews the test cases and they provide the inputs. If the QA misses anything,
So yeah. So
that can be
kind of a
covered.
code review, but QA review for task. That's a very good practice. So you can put it like that, that in terms of testing strategies, I would say just like code review, QA review or QA test review should also happen. That also I will make sure happens. The quality of testing improves and thereby increasing the productivity or the quality. Fair point.
Yes. One more point I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'll try to, or we will make sure like whatever points are discussed in the retrospective or improvements area. So those should be like, we will work on that. So in future, like those mistakes or anything, we will not repeat.
So in retrospectives, we will pick up on the suggestion items or the lessons learned so that we don't repeat it and suggestions are turned into actions and we improve. Fair. That is also fair.
Yes.
Trust me, you will have like 10, 15 points already. So this will only cover your half of the interview. This is good here. This is good. But there will be cross questions on each of those items, which you will learn as you go into more. But very good point also, Abhilasha. Yes, Priyanka madam, let's go.
So we'll encourage human interactions over following the processes, so that in case of any major issues, instead of following the regular process of logging defects, we can directly interact and solve the issues on a priority basis.
Good. That is very good. Good point. Human interactions over processing, over processes and tools. So you have actually quoted a agile principle in this is good. You have to quote. That is good. One of the tips is as many agile principles and values, Scrum principles and values, as many as you can quote them, it will be better, because at the end of the day, those are the best practices that you are going to teach the team. So if you can quote these in your interview, it really helps. Venkatesh sir.
Sir, I will ensure that the Scrum ceremonies are efficient. Like, for example, in a sprint planning meeting, we should ensure that the planning is efficient by having a product backlog refinement activity before. At least the product, if it is having a big product backlog items, at least that has to be scrutinized till the level, that kind of a level like bucket system, where we assigned a number to the t-shirt sizing. First we will uh, refine it to the t-shirt sizing, and then we will assign a number to the t-shirt sizing with respect to the by using the bucket system, so that at least we will having clear idea of how well the product backlog items are refined, so that we can deep dive into the discussion by using a planning poker in the sprint planning.
Yeah. So basically you want to say
I want
that
to help the estimation
you will
technique.
have proper backlog grooming sessions so that the stories are ready for development. And you will also make sure the sizing of those stories. See, the basic purpose of a grooming call is to understand whether the stories you are going to pick up can be finished within a sprint or not. So you used various methods to size this. So you are saying that I am going to coach the team into multiple bucket list also, planning poker also, t-shirt sizing also. I will teach them multiple estimation techniques so that they become good at sizing the story.
Sizing the story, correct.
So estimating the story or sizing the story is one and the same thing, but in common lingo we say sizing a story. Sizing a story is assessing a story whether we can complete it within a sprint or not. So that coaching you will do. Okay, I will take that point. Very good point, that grooming calls should be very proper. If there are proper grooming calls, that will make sure the sprint planning session is very good. To have a good successful sprint planning session, you need stories which are ready for development. That will come from a backlog grooming session. Okay, that is good. Lot of good points here. One point which all of you should have said is, I will protect the team for external influences. It is like impediment. So your main role is to identify and help the team in removing impediments. Similarly, external influences, which means if people are straight away going to the developers and saying, oh, can you complete this? You will stop that. You cannot go straight away to the developer because it puts them under unnecessary pressure. Then if people are pulling them into organizational events, you will protect the sprint goal. All of that we discussed. So you will be the protector of their time. That is good. I think we covered most of the things. Maybe one or two techniques here and there. I will use a visual board. Scrum board will visually tell us what my blockers are so that the team is aware what their blockers are. If there are critical blockers, we will concentrate on them. Yeah, visual this thing. What else can you say which is very impressive? And what else yeah, I think this should be enough here. Whatever you guys covered should be maybe, like we discussed, pair programming is one of the techniques. Using invest is one of the techniques. Prioritization, somebody said, so you can mention the methods which we will cover. So yeah, I think we covered like 15, 20 points. This is good. So all of this is how to improve the team. What are the obstacles you will see? How will you improve the teams? What makes you a good Scrum Master? Following all these things makes you a good Scrum Master. How will you prove? So if you know all these things and if you can tell these things with various examples, then it is going to be proved in the interview that you have had experience of handling multiple teams. Are you guys getting comfortable in the idea that you will be able to clear the interview? Because all of these points, if you only put 1 or 2 points, then maybe you have read it somewhere. But if you are able to put all of these points in an interview and give examples, then obviously the other guy will say, yeah, this guy's work, he knows what he's talking. You get the point, right? So, but you have to cover, you cannot miss out DOR, DOD acceptance criteria. That's the core. You cannot miss out handling protecting the team from external influences. You cannot miss out on grooming calls. You cannot miss out mentioning continuous improvement using retrospectives. And you cannot miss out, which all of us have missed out because we have not covered. So that is fine. You will use the metrics like burn down, burn up, velocity charts to understand the performance of the team and give them this information to improve further. You will give these reports to the management for them to understand the team and identify any weak areas and improve upon it. But metrics, you have not told me. That is fine because you guys have not, I have not covered it. But metrics also you have to mention that you will use, you know the correct usage of the metrics and you will use them to improve the productivity of the team and the consistency at which they are working and the quality of the product and so on. Okay, so I think most of you were worried whether you will clear the interview or not. You just have to be here, do it repeatedly, give your mock interviews, give your real-time interviews, you'll be fine. By the way, you guys had your session, right? Some CV session was going to happen.
Yes, it happened.
Was it fine, good? You are fine?
Yeah, it was a 4-hour session. So
you guys asked 150 questions like you asked me?
Maybe, yeah.
That's good. That is good.
Good, actually. Yeah.
Good. So that is nice. So now and you have covered the basics of whatever is there in the, so good here. So now all of you have your CVs optimized, I hope. And then you can start applying to crap companies still for 1 or 2 weeks. Apply for startups or companies where you don't want to join. Those are different locations. So that once you give 2 or 3 interviews, 2-3 mocks and 2-3 real times, then you can apply anywhere. I don't care. You'll be through. No worries.
Sir, calls are not coming, sir. Actually, why? What may be the reason?
Call, see, it's a hit and trial. Yeah, market is slow is there, but notice period is one factor. You cannot put more than 15 days. That is one rule. Package, again, more than 15-17 lakhs you cannot put. Then those are the 2 main factors. Immediate joiner you are, reasonable package you have. LinkedIn, LinkedIn is showing something else and you are saying that you are a Scrum Master. That also should not be there. How many?
Sir, is there more competition as a Scrum Master?
Yes,
I think that's why we are not getting call.
No, calls will come here. Calls will come. But how many jobs you have applied to? 2, 4, 5, 10, 15? How much?
Actually,
65.
65. You got calls, right?
Not yet.
0 calls. No, when did you apply for 65?
Sir, 15 applications per day. I am applying, but not getting any calls.
After this resume session, I did not apply yet. I'm drafting the resume, and in Infosys, it is showing like it is shortlisted, but nothing came up, and others also nothing scheduled. In Naukri, I got few invites, but nothing scheduled.
It will happen. The competition is there, yes,
Yeah.
but calls will
Sir,
come. You
sir,
will get.
when we click apply, right? So already actually 100 or 100 plus application
There are
already.
at least
Yes, and
350, 400 candidates, okay, for every SM position. So don't worry about it. There will be people, but a lot of people don't have that quality. So keep applying, but keep changing your CV ever so often, which means every 2 days, 3 days, do some change in your CV. That traction, that activity should happen on your CV. And that is also one way of getting it picked. Keep applying, you'll get calls here. Don't worry. It will happen. But basic mistakes should not be there. Estimations, prioritization technique, agile metrics, coaching and facilitation, all of these things you can ban, safe, all of these things you have to mention in your CV. Stakeholder management, risk management, conflict management, all of these things you have to, if any of these are missing, then that could be also a problem. Is that understood?
We will request, if we get ready with our CVs, you
Yeah.
can once and tell us.
You can send me to my email.
Okay.
So what I will do is from maybe Thursday, I'll hold back for 15 minutes at the end of the session. I'll review 2 or 3 at a time.
Okay.
Okay. So, but calls will come here if the CV should not have glaring holes. If there are problems in your CV, then, and sometimes it's just a case of hit and trial. Keep adapting. Apply to individual job postings also. It'll come here. It'll come. It's normally slow. If you have a lot of experience, it will be, you will get only 10 or 20 calls in 3 or 4 months span. If you are an immediate joiner, you want anything between 10 to 15 lakhs, an immediate joiner. That's when you get most calls. If you are looking for 30 lakhs plus, calls will be less. 20 to 30, there will be calls, but you'll have to have some sort of patience. So this is how the market is now. Calls will come. This is how.
Some job descriptions are asking for Scrum Master / PM. Oh, is it one the same or is it something different?
So sometimes these people want you to have waterfall experience also.
Yes.
So you can tell them that you had experience in handling hybrid teams. They were partially Scrum, but partially old school. So that you can, whatever they ask you, if you are able to explain all these points that we are discussing, that should be good enough. But if they would really want some PMP experience, all that, then they may or may not take you. But very few companies are like that. Normally, if they are looking for Scrum and you can exhibit agile experience, then they are more than okay to take you.
sir, as a Scrum Master, so how you rate actually SAFe knowledge is required?
100%. 100%. Without SAFe, especially for senior folks,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to get in. They need SAFe information also. 100%. You have to put SAFe in your CV. 100%. They may not be using SAFe, but they will have every plan to get into SAFe. Every company these days is getting into SAFe because that's how the nature of the market is going. So
Yeah, do we
SAFe,
need to have SAFe certification, SAFe as
Yeah.
Agilist certification?
Scrum certification is mostly okay, but it doesn't hurt to have SAFe also. It doesn't hurt. But it's not a great advantage to have it, but it doesn't hurt. At least basic certification is.
Yeah, but if we have one of the certification like Scrum Master certification, that will be
Should be
sufficient.
good enough. It should be good enough, but eventually you will have to have both at some point. If you want to build a career out of it, yeah, then definitely you need at least basic 2 certificates. Other than that, it's your choice, but HR will not clear your name for the interview round. That's the. Okay, so let's get on to the, so all of this is clear, right? All these 15, 20 points are clear. Let's get on to your, we
Sir,
only,
sorry, sir. So, I mean, you are going to, whatever required in for interview purpose and actual working, you are going to cover, right? As part of SAFE, actually. Environment
100%. See,
and
what I'm
planning.
going to see, SAFE has multiple levels. So what I am going to be covering is the level 1, which is required for 80-85% organizations. For most of the companies, that level 1 configuration is sufficient. So I'll cover that in detail, enough detail so that you can say that you worked in SAFE. So don't worry about it. Enough detail.
Sir, we will work in practical also in SAFE.
You know, there is no theory. It's all practical. Whatever is needed to get through the interview, how you work in a particular practical environment. Okay, so don't worry on that. One second. Some. Sorry, sir. There is a couple of my Scrum Masters. They are into, there's a client delivery which is happening, new group of clients, and they are escalating those people. So just following up with those guys. Okay, so then where is the, okay, so let's get into sprint review. Let us get into sprint review. Sometimes, they also check this, that sometimes if you are applying for Scrum Masters jobs and there is no history of you applying for Scrum Masters jobs, that data is also available. So if you keep applying, I've seen people not get, there was this girl, immediate joiner, 5 years of total experience. She was looking at 8 to 12 lakhs bracket. 8 to 12 lakhs bracket, immediate joiner, decent communication, sure shot selection. And for 2 months, she kept telling me during the course of the bootcamp, Joey, what are you saying? I am not even getting one single call. What are you telling me? One single call. One. I said, don't worry, yaar. So what don't worry, yaar? I said, you go, yaar. You apply, don't worry. So after the bootcamp ended also, after 15 days, she got one call. I said, you keep applying. You've learned so much. Now you keep applying. Don't stop. I said, this is how it works. You have to. So suddenly in the 3rd or 4th month, she got 1 or 2 interviews scheduled. I said, that's good progress. So she was very frustrated. In the 5th month, suddenly one day I got an email and I called her. Now what? I'm in deep trouble. I'm in big problem. Now I have 3 offer letters. I don't know which one to pick. I said, this is what happens, right? So it takes time here sometimes. So, but you have to keep applying. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it works quickly. But within worst case 4 to 6 months, you will get enough calls. So if you give a 3 to 6 month timeline, you will get enough calls to clear an interview. Worst case scenario, 10 to 15 calls will be there during this time, even if the market is slow. But if you don't utilize your 10-15 calls, then that is a problem. But I don't think you guys will waste such opportunities. So this is why I'm saying, so the mistake people do is they will immediately go and jump into the good companies and get rejected. Have that experience of failing into, clear your first 2, 3, 4 interviews with bad companies and then get into decent stuff. So you'll get there. Yeah. And I have multiple examples of those people. It takes bit of time sometimes. Sometimes it works instantaneously. I've also seen people they stop attending after 1.5 months because they've already cracked through. So that also that those examples are there also. So but typically the market is also slow. Yeah. Today I think they made a recovery. Few of the IT stocks, but market also is bit slow. But this is August. Typically, September, October will be okay. November will be not that okay. December will be too down. Then January again it will be back to decent. So
And sir,
December is when you will struggle to get calls, but next 3 months you should get enough calls. But yeah, those days are long gone when you apply and you have people chasing you. That is not how the market is now. So don't waste your calls is all I'm saying. Give your mock interviews so that your calls are not wasted. Calls are not easy to get, so don't waste your calls.
sir, one more question actually. How artificial intelligence is going to impact our this Scrum Master and Agile methodology actually? Because all people are, all not all people, but in my organization, one of the senior managers saying now actually this Scrum Master and all this is going to replace and all like that because of AI. Everything is going fast.
I told you, right? My first project was in mainframe, and people said this is a dying technology. This was way back 20 years back, and still people are working and they are making a career out of it. Every year I hear Java. This is the last year for Java. I'm hearing this from last 2008. I'm hearing that manual testers are no longer required. Still 70% of the industry is manual testing. So my take on AI is eventually it will take over, but that eventually is still far away because real life scenarios it is not able to handle. GPT-5 has been an overwhelming failure. Failure not as in failure, but it's not what they expected out of it to be. There will be a definite crash in the AI bubble because all the investments that they have poured in AI, they don't have a return on investments.
Yeah, right.
So AI is actually not transforming the teams that they were expecting it to. So it's not like it will not, 100% it will eventually. But I think near-term future is it will increase the productivity of people. So let us say you're a Scrum Master now, and with AI tools, for example, I'll give you 1 or 2 examples. So for example, this prioritization, if you tell them the previous prioritize, so let us say you have 15-20 sprints data and you tell, okay, this is the way I prioritize my backlog. Based on that, it will also help you in the prioritization. So that is one of the add-ons which is there. There are other add-ons which, if you go to Jira, there are plenty of AI add-ons there. So prioritization is also done by AI now. There are other things also which
we can ask the question and do something.
A lot of metrics AI can help you in. But so if I can handle one team now, then I will be able to handle 2 teams. If I'm handling 4 teams, I will be able to handle 6 teams. So that is the kind of growth which will be there. If you are good at Scrum, if you understand Scrum properly, then you will be able to handle more and more teams. Same way for developers and testers, they'll be able to handle more and more work. That will happen in the next 5 to 10 years. People will be more productive. And people who are not very good at what they do, they may struggle. But if you are average or above, if you're below average, then you will struggle. But if you're average, above average, excellent, those people will continue to see improvements in their careers because they'll be able to handle more work. But eventually there will come a time when AI handles most of the these things, and we graduate into something else. God knows what that will be. Other theory is that, of course, this happens and we become what you call in post-scarcity economics, there's a term called useless eaters. So we will no longer be contributing to the society and we'll become useless eaters. Then it is up to our masters whether they allow us to survive or not. But that is a very dark take on this. I expect 5 to 10 years it'll be fine. After that, God knows what will happen. Nobody knows. Nobody knows even for next 3 years or 5 years. But my take is that for 5-10 years, our productivity is going to increase. After 10 years, 15 years, I don't know. Nobody knows at this point, and it is very difficult to comprehend what will be the world in few years. But definitely not what we have now. There will be a definite major impact of AI. But
Sir, what if we become a product owner? So will we still be impacted?
see, if you're talking about, there is some, I'm deviating from the topic since you have asked. So there is a term called AG. There are two terms actually. One is AGI, one is ASI. AGI is artificial general intelligence. When the algorithm or AI gets into a mode where it can, like us humans, you can put us into any situation and we can apply generic intelligence. It's not like we can only be good at mathematics or geography or coding. We have basic skills to survive any subject or any situation. So that is your generic intelligence. That AGI is the first step. Once AI reaches AGI, that is one step. The second step is artificial super intelligence. When it supersedes us, it goes past 170, 80 IQ limit, and that is when we lose our control. AGI itself we have not achieved. So, but once they achieve ASI, which is artificial super intelligence, then exponential intelligence will be there in AIs. Then you don't know, and it's not a linear progression. It's a L-shaped progression. Then they don't. I mean, how do we know what they are going to do? If they are 200, 250, 300, 350 intelligence, then it's not in your hands. Ask chickens how do they feel with human beings.
Recently, IBM has conducted one trial run for AI to HR team. What happened is like initially they have removed few of the HR team. They tried it, and instead of hiring 5 members or 10 members, it started hiring 15 to 20 members, recommending 15 to 20 members for each team. Now it has increased the cost of production, everything. Now again they are rehired the HR team and they have reduced it actually. Now they came to know that how much HR team is contributing and other teams are contributing in reducing the team size and all everything, how much they are utilizing.
There have been plenty of examples where these things have backfired to the organizations.
Yeah.
So I don't think immediately there is a concern, but after 10 years, 15 years, I don't know.
It will take much time actually. Still there are no the specific theories also. And many
the
financial
day,
companies.
So the day they get into something called ASI, artificial super intelligence, then they break the barrier of human intelligence. That's it. Then nobody's going to come and ask you what happened. So, but it could be positive also. It could be look for a term called post-scarcity economics. See, no longer we are working because there is rationing of resources. Resources are limited, and we are a lot of people. So if there is no crunch on resources, then everybody gets what they are looking for. So then it is just look for a term called post-scarcity economics, and you will have a lot to ponder over. but it's kind of very scary. Yeah. I want to go back to 1960s if it is
Hmm.
possible.
तो पहले घुस तो जाए इंडस्ट्री में.
Industry में you will be.
But
See,
okay.
this doomsday, in every society, in every era, there is something going on. They will say in 10 years, everything will be over. And I have been listening to this since my childhood that
In 2000
10 years,
crash,
everything
everything.
will be over. But when will be it over? Yeah, it is never ending. Yeah, anyways. So it's not getting so. Medium term, I think we are good. We'll be better off. Long term also, there might be a period where we will struggle that transition to happen. But I think eventually, just like in movies, everything will turn out well. It always turns out well. Yeah, you have to be positive, right? So that's the only way to deal with this world. Anyways, okay.
Yeah,
So I think
sir.
that answers you. And
Yeah, yes.
the biggest advantage of being a Scrum Master is no matter how advanced your AI is going to become, if there are humans employed to do coding and testing, they will bloody fight. POs will also fight. There will always be conflicts. There, you always need a mediator or a conflict resolutioner to be there. People cannot work on their own. It's a myth. People will get into conflicts. There will be egos. There will be fights. You need somebody. AI will never take that part of your job.
Okay, so as we are doing this Scrum Master, sorry.
And one more thing. They always need somebody to blame if things don't well. So they're always looking for Venkatesh sir. Venkatesh sir, why did your team did not perform well? Will they ask a algorithm? No, yeah. They need a human person to fix that responsibility. Why did the delivery not happen? They need Kiran, they need Abhilasha to tell them why it happened. So they cannot talk to a chat box or this thing, correct? So they need a human accountability and they need somebody to resolve conflicts. So just for these two things, they need a human representation for a team, yeah. In various organization events, in various meetings, all of those, they need some representative from your team. So I don't see this happening. 2015, cloud, big data, everything will be cloud, everything will be big data, everything will be all that nonsense they were speaking. What happened here? Please don't go with the hype. Things will go on, but yeah, changes will be there, but at a very slow pace.
Okay, so is there actually any tool for survive along with actually this Scrum Master or this training? Okay.
No, I don't think so.
No.
As of now, you just need to get into an organization, and those organizations will themselves push you into these. They will always internally they will have a generative AI or whatever tools you are going to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So, this turned out to be a AI doomsday class. Okay. No, but it's all positive here. Don't worry. I don't expect.
Sorry, sir. Actually,
For next 5-10 years, I don't see any problems here. They will continue to make the noise, but in reality, nothing much is going to happen. Yeah, Abhilasha.
So in the coming weeks, are we going to have some practical sessions for the
On Jira, yes.
retrospective
On Jira, yes.
and on retrospective or
On
sprint planning
retrospective,
also?
yes. My plan was to get into retrospective today, but looks like we'll have it tomorrow. 100%.
Okay.
Tomorrow we'll do it on Miro and we'll use Confluence and do how to conduct a retrospectives using a Miro board or a Confluence board. How to do that we'll cover here.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, let's go to question number 41. Let's spend next 10 minutes on sprint review. At least let's get over with it. Who will tell me what is the main purpose of sprint review?
Feedback.
Okay, no, you can give a detailed answer.
Okay, the main perspective of having a sprint review is achieving a feedback so that we can have a clear understanding of what we have done and how the customer or how the client is happy with our product or an increment. if it is an MVP then. So
Okay,
yeah,
what is the purpose of sprint review? The purpose of sprint review is to
have the feedback.
Feedback on what?
Feedback on the increment or the MVP.
Increment is what is increment?
Story.
No. It is based on DOD, yes.
DOD.
But what is increment?
The
Come on,
completed-
simple. Give me
completed
simple
task.
answer on this.
The
What
feature
is
completed
increment?
in a
Completing the number of stories in the
Stories.
sprint.
Suitable.
Completing the feature
stories
with
and
respect to
and
DOD.
show it to the stakeholders. So sprint review happens to get the feedback on completed user stories.
Stories, correct.
Okay. Then what else?
Sir, I'm adding to this. Actually, increment and MVP is different, right, sir?
Correct.
Okay, this is what the question I was asked in the interview also, one interview. Then I said, then he asked me actually what is difference between the increment and what is MVP. Then I said increment is something we have
Already
completed the story.
started.
We have completed the story point with respect to definition of done. That is an increment. But MVP is way beyond that. That is, we are able to show the stakeholders how exactly it works. Like if it is a login feature, then MVP is something that we can show it as a potentially shippable product.
Let me. So let us say we are building this food delivery application. Okay. So MVP is whatever is minimum viable product, which means when we go out to the market, what are the basic features we need to have? We will have login functionality, add to the card functionality, food browsing option, then payments, all those basic 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 features. So when you complete all these 5, 6, 7 features, that becomes your MVP. It could be after 3 months, it could be after 6 months, it could be after a year, whatever the PO decides. Whatever is the minimum features that we need to have in our product so that we can hit the market. Just with a login functionality, you cannot go to the market. Hey, you just log in. Food will come after 6 months. You got it, right? So you say the food you can browse the food, you can order the food, but maybe AI enhancements will come later. Maybe based on your preference, AI will recommend you food, or maybe the rating system of food will come later, but at least the basic functionality should be there in your first release. Whatever you can offer in the market for your first release is your MVP, without which you cannot hit the market.
Correct. Okay. It is what mistake I did.
Yes.
I understood now. Yeah, actually.
Sir,
That is
so
why it's not happening.
and increment is whatever you have completed after every sprint. So after sprint 1, I completed 2 stories. That's my MVP. After sprint 3, I completed 4 stories. That's my MVP. After 7th sprint, I completed 10 tasks, 15 stories, 21 bugs. That's my increment. Whatever you are completing in a particular sprint, that is my increment.
Okay, sir. Again, please, sir. Once again. Yes, sir.
So whatever you complete in a particular sprint,
okay,
that is my increment.
Okay, sir. MVP?
MVP is the minimum features which the product owner thinks that we have to build before releasing our product to the customer.
Okay, sir. So
it could be 4 features, 2 features, 6 features, 10 features. It depends on whatever your product owner or product management team thinks. Okay, this is the bare minimum features we need to have to hit the market.
So if we are saying MVP, that is to the market. That we can release it to the market right away.
Yes.
So we can deliver it to the client. So you can use it and give us feedback. That's way.
No, not feedback. That is those features which we are releasing. We are hitting the market, or we are releasing to the customers. And so let us say whatever you will do, plan for your first release is your MVP. So basically, when you start a product, then you have to decide what is it, how many bare minimum features we have to build so as to go to the market.
Okay.
So those are the bare minimum features. For example, you are building a electronic health care system. So you say, okay, I will allow the patients to log in, then see their medical history. I will allow them to take an appointment with the doctor. I will allow them to take a look at their insurance claims. Those are basic 2-3 things which you can go with. If you just allow the system, if you allow the patient to just look at their patient history, that's not enough to go to the market. You can still show it to the stakeholders, but you can see stakeholders are people who are putting money in the product. Customers are end users. Yeah, you cannot go to the end users with just one feature or two features. You need to have a bunch of 3, 4, 5, 6 features. That a bare minimum functioning app, that bare minimum functioning product from a customer's point of view is your MVP. And whatever you show to the stakeholders after every sprint is your increment. So that's the difference. Is everybody?
Sir, to sum up, sir, login feature is an increment. Registration feature is an increment. Having a registration feature, login feature, updating feature, and then payment feature, all these things, bare minimum features is a MVP.
You got it.
Okay. Thank
you. Does everybody gets it right?
I have a doubt.
This was a question asked to you because this was more of a PO interview. That is they may have
another interview.
No, I also got the same question. Actually, I also got actually.
Oh, you also got it?
Yeah, MVP.
But typically this
same
is
actually. I explain same like as you.
I have a doubt.
As me or as a Venkatesh sir? Who is you in your
my earlier answer I said to him, I think he is not happy with it. He said okay, but he is not that much happy. I understand that because I am not having that clarity, right?
And that's fine. That's fine. Some of the things you will get clarity as we go along. Yeah, Kiran, you have a question.
Can we say the increment as version updates like that in interviews? Like, for example, if we have any application or else any mobile application, if we are updating that one with the new feature, or else if any incremental update, we used to say it as a version update or something.
See, version update is if you are releasing it to the customer after every sprint.
Yeah. Yes.
Then yes. But if you are if you are releasing it after maybe 4 sprints, then not every sprint your version will change. Your version will only change if you release it to production. Okay. If it is happening after every sprint, then yes, that's a version update.
Yeah.
But not all organizations will update they will not release the stories to production every sprint. If you have every sprint release, then this version update is true for that.
Okay. If it is like every 3 months once, a quarterly once means it will.
So that means so let us say I am on 25.1 now, and after this quarter I release. So then after that quarter I will go to 25.2.
Yeah. Okay.
Whenever you are pushing the code to production, new features. If there are bug fixes, that's a hot fixes. That's another thing. But if you are releasing a major chunk of features, then the release will the version will change if you are putting in a major chunk of stories there. Okay, don't worry. I'll show you everything in Jira.
Yeah,
I'll have more clarity on it. Okay, so yeah, Abhilasha ma'am, can I complete that or yeah, go ahead.
No, I raised a hand for answering the sprint review.
Good, yeah. Okay, so sprint review is all clear. We need to get feedback, and based on the feedback, so let us say we get a feedback which is negative. Now this guy says your login functionality that you are building is not good enough. I need, instead of the email and password and the phone and the OTP, I also need Face ID in my functionality. What happens then? Based on the feedback, your product owner creates a new story and puts it on the product backlog. So in the sprint review, your product backlog is getting updated based on the feedback. This is a very important discussion point, that please make sure you understand. Sprint review, you are showing your completed stories. Then based on the feedback, if there is new enhancements, those will be created by the product owner in the product backlog. So your product backlog is directly getting impacted. Or there you could get bugs which you will have to fix, so on and so forth. But we'll get into more into it. So on a basic level, this is your sprint review. Yeah, Omkar sir.
Yeah.
So we can say that it is adoption, mean update the product backlog to reflect new adders we get.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So the main purpose is inspect and adopt, can we say in short?
The main purpose is inspect and adapt. You are inspecting whatever you have completed in that particular sprint. And you are adapting if there is negative feedback. If they want anything more, you are creating more stories and enhancements to accommodate those feedback. True. Yes, Priyanka.
So when we move the new enhancements which the client suggested in the product backlog, so in the next sprint, is it a mandate?
You're breaking up here. Come up again.
So I was telling, after we move these new enhancements which the client requested to the product backlog, is it mandatory that we have to pick those up for the next sprint?
So that depends again on the business value. So let us say now they say they need a Face ID instead of just email and password or the mobile and OTP method. They need a Face ID method of login also. So PO and stakeholders have a discussion. They say, okay, we can probably do it next release or in the next version. It is not required immediately. Or they may say, no, there is some statutory requirement. Now this is a banking application. RBI or Reserve Bank of India or whatever is your governance body, they say Face ID is required for banking application. So we can't delay it. We need to immediately start. So it depends. It depends on the discussion between PO and stakeholders. What is the priority of the item which they are suggesting?
Okay, and in case of any defects or minor changes which are there,
so in case of defects which can be fixed in 1 or 2 days, then you say, okay, so this, what I am explaining here is, what if there is a negative feedback in the sprint reviews? If it is a positive feedback, then of course there is no problem. Everything is hunky-dory. If there is a negative feedback, what do you do? If the negative feedback is that they need some new enhancements which are not covered as a part of the original story, then you create the new stories, you discuss their priorities, fine. But if the negative feedback is some UI part is not working, some small updates, so then you can commit, okay, we'll fix it in 1 or 2 days, and then we can have another review and we'll show it to you. So there are 3 things. One, major enhancements, those becomes new stories and your priority is set. Then the second option is minor bug fixes, nothing major. 1 or 2 days you can spend and fix those bugs, nothing major. Third is that you still need, those are critical bugs. They need 2, 3, 4, 5 days time. And then you give a week, 1 week or 5 days of ETA. But provision of ETA and another review is what Scrum Master's duty is. You have to provide the ETA on the fix. If it is a minor fix, or minor is 1 or 2 days, medium is something 3 to 5 days. But your responsibility is to communicate them that this will be fixed and when will be fixed, ETA, and to organize one more review where you showcase that we have fixed what you are telling.
Okay.
So 3 kinds of feedback can come: negative feedback, short-term fix, medium fix, or long-term fix.
Okay.
Is this clear too? How do you handle? So this question will come. How do you handle negative feedbacks in the sprint review as a Scrum Master? So it could be short-term fix, medium-term fix, or a long-term fix. Then question number 2, who participates in sprint review and what are their roles? Who is there? We'll wind up in another 5 minutes. Okay. This is Monday. You already went to the office. I get it.
Sir, a whole Scrum team with the necessary stakeholders.
Okay, hang on. This, yeah. Who else wants to answer this? Who will be there in the sprint review? Scrum team, I get it. Who else?
Stakeholder.
PO.
PO.
Stakeholders.
Scrum Master.
Scrum Master.
Customers.
They ask you specifically this question for sprint review because do you know that stakeholders need to be there or not? 100% stakeholders need to be there in the sprint review. If in the sprint review, stakeholders are not there, sprint after sprint, you need to search for job. They are disinterested in your product. Very shortly, they will pull out the plug. They will pull out the investment or there is some problem. If the stakeholders are not coming, either you are a nonsense team, you don't deliver anything of high value, they are not interested, or whatever you deliver, they are not happy with you. So if they are not happy with you, it is Scrum Master's duty, which we'll do in later when we get into more scenario based. Scrum Master's duty is to make sure stakeholders are attending the sprint review sprint after sprint. That is one of the good signs of a good, healthy team. If the reviewer or the stakeholders are not there, then it is a problem with your team. So how do you ensure that they are there? Communication. Your sprint calendar should be shared with them well in advance. Okay, at this and this date, you will get a review or a demo. You have to tell them well in advance. These are big people. You suddenly cannot say, oh, my team has completed stories. Why don't you come tomorrow? That is not how it works. You have to give them your sprint calendar that, okay, on 7th August, 21st August, 9th September, we will have reviews and stick to it. So, I mean, 1 or 2 days here and there can happen. That is fine. But primarily they need a calendar. So that communication that they are required and the calendar. Second thing, their feedback is taken care of. Whatever feedback they are giving you, you are incorporating that feedback. And people are noting that and you are creating those bugs, stories in Jira itself. And there is a follow-up on the feedback. If they tell you something is not working, say it will be fixed. After 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, it will be shown to you. Then have a follow-up meeting, show it to them. If that is happening, then they will take this seriously because their feedback is getting incorporated into action. Third, don't show a PPT. PPTs don't work. It has to be a bloody working software. Give them use cases. Okay. Give them the screen. The best sprint reviews or the best practices are where you give the stakeholders the screen. Okay. This is a use case. You use this. You see how it is working and give us the feedback. If you are showing PPT, doesn't work these days. So it has to be a proper working software with use cases. You share the screen with the stakeholders and allow them to use your software and give feedback. That is the best case scenario. That is the best practice that you can do. All teams cannot do that. They don't have the confidence in their product to do it. So only the good teams have the confidence to do it. If you are able to do it, bingo, great thing. So those are the 3 or 4 things that is most important for sprint review. Then, okay, I will.
The sprint review will be done at the last day of the sprint, right? Usually.
Second last, it starts typically on day 8, day 7 also, day 9 also, day 10 also. It depends. So not all the stories you will do it in one session. Typically, you can have 1 or 2 reviewed sessions.
So if after getting the feedback in that day, so if we keep another 2 or 3 days to go like to fix if any
No. See, you will start the new sprint on the next day. So let us say this happens on day 10. Okay. So if there is a new enhancement, that will be a new story. It will be picked up in the new sprint. So, or maybe it is a minor bug or a major bug. If it is major bug, still you will take on the day one of the next sprint. If it is a minor bug, that also you will take up on the next day of the sprint. That is fine. The sprint will still end here. You
Okay.
cannot, just because there is a negative feedback, you cannot prolong your sprint. Whatever is the feedback, bug stories, that will be taken in the next
sprint. Okay.
Then, okay, one thing, okay, I'll cover rest of the things tomorrow. I'll just show you something and then, okay, where is the, okay, one sec here. So go through this and we'll cover in detail tomorrow. Okay. These last three slides are the ones which we have to cover. So sprint planning, what are the issues? I'll just go through the sprint review. See, what are the bad things or bad practices or anti-scrum practices that the teams may do? Presentation without interaction, PPTs. If they show incomplete work or unfinished demo, that's a problem. Stakeholders itself are not there. Formal presentations, or they do not do even the review. Those are all problems. What are the blockers or what are the challenges? These are the blockers and challenges. The team is not doing the review itself because they are scared, or they are showing incomplete work. There is no DoD. So you encourage the team to have interactive demos. You demo items only with DoD. You invite the stakeholders and take their feedback. You have informal discussions, and there should be a mandatory sprint review, without which you cannot live with. So I'll cover for rest of the 4 events also tomorrow, but go through this PPT, we'll cover. And then on Thursday, we'll get into groomings. Okay. Yeah,
So
Abhilash.
are you, sorry.
There was one point. The first one encouraged team to have interactive something. So
Interactive.
how Scrum Master can encourage team to have?
See, again, you have to tell them that PPT is of no use. You have to give the system to the stakeholders. So let us say you have built some report. Give it to the stakeholder and say you click on that report and navigate the menus and see what are the different options, and then PO and QA can tell, okay, if you click on this, this is going to happen. You give, so you put in an let us say you are generating a sales report. Okay, you put in the January, you click on that January month, you will get these options. You click on that analytics, you will get this. Prepare some use cases and then make the stakeholder use your product to give more feedback.
Okay.
So
Are we
We can
showing
present
the
that
SPM?
test environment. We can present them in the test environment, or else.
Ideally, demo environment, but SIT is
Demo.
also, SIT, if it is stable, then it is fine. Ideally, demo environment, but if it is UAT also works here.
So once we tried with the production environment, what happened is like it affected the data actually.
No,
So
no,
that's
no,
what.
no.
So I just want to clear me. After that, we started doing it in the test environment only, like.
Ideally, UAT, which is your business users environment, ideally. But if there is no UAT, then SIT, or the other option is ideally demo, if that option is available. So any other question before we wind up for today? People have long faces now. They are tired after a tough day.
You share your
Are we
mail
going
ID.
to
Yeah.
going?
Go ahead,
Sir, you
Mohammed.
Yeah. So I just wanted to know about the estimation techniques. So we are going to cover that, right?
What makes you think we are not going to cover?
No, I was just I had a query, like had like some confusion between estimation and the capacity sheet.
Okay.
that we
No,
make.
don't
So
worry. We
that's
will
why
cover
I wanted to.
estimations. Probably, I am thinking once we complete the all these events, then we will cover. See, sometimes they will ask you what happens in a sprint review. If people are not even aware, product backlog is the one which gets updated in the sprint review session. That's the most important thing. So if you miss out, then that's a basic miss. You get my point, right? So
Yeah.
what if you get the most critical skill of a scrum master is what does he do if there is a negative feedback in the sprint reviews? So how do you handle that? Very simple, logically. Minor fix, major fix, medium fix. What kind of fix it needs? So based on that, you derive your strategy. Estimations we'll get into here. Once I think tomorrow we can cover everything, and then probably. Okay.
Sir, please share your mail ID as you
I will share my mail ID.
in the chat.
Yes.
So I have some queries about my series. So I will mail it to you first.
Okay. 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 Let's end for today, and then let's see each other on tomorrow, where we complete
Thank you,
our.
sir. Good night.
Okay. And then I'll just launch a poll, and
Good
then
night,
we
sir.
can. Thank you. Good night. Have a nice. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Bye, sir.